Hey everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to talk about a different topic. It's not going to be a vlog or anything like that as you saw in the title. I'm going to talk about whether I am or I am not a third culture kid and how I feel. Like whether I feel from where I come from or from one of the places that I've lived in. So, okay, let's get started. I was actually born and raised in a town like 20 minutes from Madrid, so pretty much in Madrid. And I lived there for 13 years of my life. I went to a half public, half private school, and then in 8th grade I transferred to a public school, to a Spanish public school, and it was okay. It was a public school, yeah, that's how it was. I did my 7th and 8th grade over there, which actually in Spain that's already high school. High school starts in 7th grade, so I started high school in a Spanish public high school, but I got really lucky because in the town that I live in, most of the public high schools, I don't know if all of them, but most of them are bilingual, so you can choose to be in the bilingual program, which would mean that I would study some of my subjects in English, which in this case were biology, history, geography, and I don't know, like P and stuff like that, but math, Spanish, French, that wasn't in English, obviously. So 7th grade I did it in Spanish, and then 8th grade I wanted to try to do it in English. So I tried, but I mean, of course I learned English, but I didn't end up being fluent or anything like that. And I don't think that people in my class were either fluent, like they had a good English level, but they weren't fluent. And neither was I. I was the worst one in class actually, because the previous years I studied in Spanish, so I was the worst one, at least in English class. So, okay. So when I was 13, after 8th grade, after 8th grade, I was told that I was gonna move to China, to Beijing actually. So I actually got quite excited. I thought it was kind of, okay, I thought it was going to be kind of like American. Don't ask me why. I feel like a lot of people in Spain, or at least when we were younger, we thought that like living in the States would be the coolest thing ever. I don't know if it is or not because I never lived there or anything like that, but it was like kind of this American idealistic thing that everyone had, because we saw a lot of like American TV shows and all that, and like I was told that I was gonna go to an international school, kind of like American, so I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so cool. And I already went to China like in 2011, and this was in 2016. I don't know why I thought I was gonna move into like an American way of life, because I thought I was gonna live like in a big house, outside of Beijing's, in this area called Shunyi, which is not like Beijing, but it is Beijing, like it's near, okay, it's Beijing, but you don't live downtown, so it's not as Chinese, and also a lot of foreigners live there, so I thought, okay, it's going to be pretty cool. I really want to move there. I'm gonna go to, well, I'm not gonna say the names of the school because I don't want anyone to find out where I used to go. I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but they're building something right in front of my house, so it's really annoying because there's a lot of noise and I hate it. But okay, back to the point. The thing is that I moved outside of my country when I was 13, which means that I grew up in the country that I'm from, which is Spain, but all my teenage years I've lived them somewhere else. 2 in China, and now 2 in Singapore, which is where I live right now. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the story because, yeah, I was supposed to talk about this at the end of the video. So, okay, I moved to China. I went to an international school. I didn't speak any English, so I I did speak English, like what I learned in 8th grade, but my level wasn't really advanced. So I got put into this English B class, which is for people that are not fluent in English. And I stayed there 2 years, so 9th grade and 10th grade. In 10th grade I was already pretty much fluent. So yeah, but I was still in that class because I had to get my grammar well. Like I had to get my English level a bit higher before I could move into English A, because we do in English like analyzing and stuff. So okay, at this point I did understand English. Like once I moved to China, I did understand pretty much everything people told me, but I couldn't express myself. And that happens to me like in French, for example. Like I study French and I do understand pretty much everything people say to me. Probably if I watch the French news, I wouldn't understand that much, but like if someone talks to me personally in French, I would understand everything, but I just feel like I don't have enough vocabulary, and I would speak French like in a way where people could understand me, but it wasn't the proper way to speak it. And that's how I feel right now with French, how I used to feel with English. So yeah. After those 2 years, which actually are the best ones that I've ever lived, because I was really excited about moving to a foreign country, living in Spain, living everything I knew, everything like I ever experienced, and moving to a completely different phase, to a completely different country. I don't know why I said phase. Okay, phase of my life. I don't know what I was gonna say. The point is that I was gonna move to a completely different, new place. I was so excited for that. I know a lot of people, like when I told people in my school, they were like, ooh, China, like why would you want to move there? Like that's so shit. I was like, well, this is shit. Like you've been living in the same place your entire life. And I know a lot of people would want to move out of the place where I'm from, but some other people wouldn't. So I mean, I do feel really grateful for this opportunity, but some other people would get this opportunity and they wouldn't take it, or they wouldn't appreciate it. So I did. Good for me, because I got to learn a lot of English. And people in my school were like did live in a lot of countries before, so it was like really confusing for me, because I was like, okay, where are you from? I'm from Finland. Have you lived in Finland? No, I've never lived in Finland. Then how are you from Finland? My parents are Finnish, whatever, they lived in different places. Like this happens to a lot of people over there. And then I moved to Singapore, so I've never been a teenager in Spain. So I do feel Spanish. I do not feel like I'm Chinese or Singaporean, that's for sure, because I basically don't speak Chinese. And I don't speak Singlish, which is like English but from Singapore, which is quite hard to understand once you move here. You get kind of confused when people speak to you, even though they're speaking in the same language that you speak. Whatever. The thing is that I do feel Spanish. Sometimes I go back to Spain and I'm like, this is not what it used to be. Like, I don't feel like I think or I act or I like the same things that my friends used to like. Like, it's like I haven't evolved with them, you know, I've evolved somewhere else, because when you're a teenager, you radically change. I don't know, you kind of find out what things you like to do, what things you don't like to do, what people you want to hang out with, what people you don't want to hang out with. So you I got to realize who are my friends, who are not my friends, or who I don't want to spend time with. So I think our way of seeing the world is definitely different. I'm not saying that people that live in where I used to live in Spain is bad. It's just a different point of view or a different perspective of seeing the world since I got this chance. And I don't want to make this video to tell people like, if you've only lived in one place in your life, you're shit or anything like that, because this is not what it is about. I'm just saying that, I don't know, maybe when you move to a different country, you get to see the world from a different perspective or something like that. The thing is that I do think I'm a third culture kid. Why is that? Because I'm not an adult, I don't have a job, which means that it's like if I moved when I was 30 somewhere else, I wouldn't be a kid anymore, so I couldn't be a third culture kid, but now I'm a kid living in a foreign country, and this is the second foreign country that I've lived in, which means that I'm a third culture kid. I do feel like a third culture kid because what I just explained, when I go back to Spain, I feel different. sometimes, obviously, not all the time. I do feel Spanish, as I said before. So, yeah. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it. I hope it was useful. I hope that if you're moving to a foreign country and that's why you're seeing this video, unless you're moving to a country in war, which I don't think you would move to a country in war. People usually escape from those countries. So if you're moving to a foreign country and it's the first time you're moving somewhere else, don't be sad. Be grateful you're gonna do that. Because be grateful you're gonna get to learn another language, whether it's English or whether it's the language that they speak in the country you're moving to. Don't be so negative, even though I've been quite negative here in Singapore. So yeah, I shouldn't be giving this advice, but it is advice because I do think that you have to be really positive when you move somewhere else, because things are obviously not going to be easy, but I can assure you there are more positive things than negative things, and that it is much worth it to move somewhere else than to stay in the country that, or in the town that you've lived in for your entire life. So I do recommend that everyone should live in a foreign country at least once in their life, at least for a month or 2 months, because it's definitely worth it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. Please subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up if you did like the video, and if you did not, give it a thumbs down so I know that you didn't like it, and also comment down below what can I do better, what other videos you would like to see, etc. So yeah, see you next time.